Hey guys, Trevor Hal here. Welcome to another episode of the Who Are We podcast. Today I have a special guest, Wayne Donnelly. How you going, Wayne?
Pretty good, Trev, mate. What a great day.
Thanks for joining us. Just before we get started, just do a bit of a disclosure. This is being recorded. This session's being recorded. We're going to upload it to my YouTube channel. Basically just to try and put a few links on LinkedIn or whatever and try and promote it a bit, just so other people can have a listen and maybe even consider who they are and what they want to get out of life. So it's just something that hopefully can create great outcomes for others, listeners, or create some sort of inspirement to explore identities. So thanks for joining us today. We'll just get straight into it. Who is Wayne Donnelly and what does he stand for?
Hey, that's great questions because so many guys answer what they do, and that's the first thing they usually respond with. So who is Wayne? A man, a father, a brother, a son. What do I stand for? I think it's really interesting. I suppose integrity, being true and honest with people. And what do I stand for is helping other guys bring out their best version of themselves. And I suppose that's the brief answer, Trev. Wow, because that goes so in depth. Who are you? And going down to your self-image and your identity. So you're asking that question.
I hear you. I hear you at the start reflect on, and it's probably true. And thank you for acknowledging that. Most people would identify what they do as who they are. And I noticed you didn't fall for that trap. Your father, all these things before anything else, and you stand for integrity. So that's interesting. And that's the same perception that I have too when you ask, what do you do? So
yeah, two different questions. Who are you and what do you do?
yeah. So you said you try to help people become the best versions of themselves. Is that something that defines you, do you think?
Yeah, it does, because I'm here doing it because of the work I've done in the past for myself. Where I was years ago, 2005, 2006, I went through some major injuries and depression, tried to suicide, and had someone help me out of that to help me become a better version of myself. And a few years later, I retrained in areas of behavioural change so I could help other guys the way I'd been helped.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And sorry about the difficulties that you faced in your past, but it sounds like the situation you went through has created a better version of yourself now and put you in a better position to help others. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't recommend that path for everyone, but it was certainly a pathway that helped me to change the direction of my life.
Yeah. And how do you go about creating these good outcomes for people? Is it something that you work on yourself and demonstrate to other people, or is it something you proactively advocate?
Yeah. I continually work on myself to consciously control what's happening in the unconscious mind, and then I help other guys do that as well. Because if we don't harness that power that's inside us, it can take us off in all sorts of directions, which may not be good for us.
Yeah. So it sounds like talking about your experiences or about other people's experiences, just in general, just engaging in conversation and creating it normal for, I suppose, especially for men to talk about. It seems to be what you're doing a lot of, is it?
Yeah, I talk with a lot of people. I coach guys in their mindset by using hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming to help them get out of their head, go past or expand outside the blinkers or the boundaries that are self-imposed, so that they can change their behavior.
And this is something that you've moved towards after your experiences? Is something that you didn't think of doing when you were younger?
No. Well, my career was in financial services, accounting and financial planning. And so that's very far removed from what I do now. And I did that for about almost 28 years. And then when the GFC came for me in December 2008, to use a euphemism, my future was freed up for new opportunities. So you get that. And that was one of my first lessons, is to reframe redundancy into something more powerful. Because when you say the word redundancy, for me anyway, and I think for a lot of people, you just see that you're no longer required, you might be useless, you may not be worth anything, no one wants you, there's only walls and no doors. And so when you change the words, and it's called reframing, when you look at it differently, you can start to see doors of opportunity, which is certainly what happened for me.
Yeah, I remember 2008 quite a lot. I think all the markets fell through the wall. I was in the steel industry at the time, doing a lot of recycling stuff, and went from $400 a ton to $0 a ton on the time it took one of my trucks to get back from Mount Isa to Brisbane. So I think it was all very quick, wasn't it?
Oh, it was hovering. I think the ASX was around the 7,000 mark, and it plummeted to about half very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And people didn't need a financial planner to tell them their money was worth half.
Yeah. So obviously in the accounting sector, or in the financial sector, then that probably would have hit you more emotional level, because that's something that you did, I suppose, and working with clients for that.
It was very emotional, because I'd been in financial planning since. It's funny, because I got into financial planning in August 2001, and I inherited 300 retiree clients, and then we had September 11 within a month of me starting. So I had to learn. I learned very quickly to advise, because from my heart rather than from my hip, because a lot of these people were like my parents and grandparents, and so you really looked after them. And then come December 2008, it was only in that year that I heavily borrowed and invested in the markets to put my money where my mouth was. It all collapsed, and I ended up going bankrupt. And it was a very, very hard lesson, very hard experience, but you get over it. And so when you look back now, it's just something that happened.
Yeah. And I think you touched on it there. You're just seeing walls and no doors opening. And I know it's probably hard to talk about, but you did mention suicidal thoughts as well. Going through that period in your life obviously was very emotional and very hard to regulate all them emotions through the change. And now you've led to a career change that and helping other people. So it seems to me that even though it was such a negative experience, it's turned your life into a more positive outcome. Do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Like the number of people I've helped since, because I did my training in 2009, and that's what I've been doing since then. So it's about 14 years, and I've helped a lot of people. I get testimonies where for a while there I had a run of teenage girls. Their parents would bring young teenage girls to me with eating disorders and a lot of social media problems. And their testimony would be, if it hadn't been for me working with their daughters, they wouldn't have them, because it was that, it was so awful. And their girls were suicidal. And then some other people I've worked with, like people who'd been alcoholics for 50 odd years, turning around and having their life restored. And it's not that I have some sort of magic. It's people come at the right time, and if they're ready to change and ready to go on a journey together to create change, then together you can do some great work.
Yeah, and the big thing I take, because I've done a few of these calls now with different people, and there's a big common theme about, you mentioned their time. The timing will be when it's be, and it's not going to happen until you're ready for it to happen, and for you to embrace it. And that's something that you mentioned again just then.
Yeah, it's like when people come to me and they want to quit smoking or drugs or cigarettes, and I said, well, do you really want to quit? And they go, no. I said, okay, great. Let's save you some time and money. Come back when you really want to do it. Or the funniest one I've had is a woman came to see me to quit smoking, and she said, but I don't want to quit yet. I just want you to take me to the place where I want to quit. Very straight. So we did a session of hypnotherapy just to get her to the place where she wanted to start quitting. And then after that, she came back about a year later and said, okay, I'm ready now.
Yeah. So the timing's right. Yeah.
It's so funny because you get out there and you're marketing coaching and hypnotherapy, and people come to you, but you've got to qualify to see, are they really ready to do it? And if they're not, well, what can we do to get them to that place? Or just tell them, well, look, if you don't want to do it from your heart yet, come back to me. Because I'm not going to take your money until you actually want to do this.
And in that initial, you talked about hippotherapy then, but even in your coaching thing, I suppose that's looking at motivations. Is it? Is that the main aspect to getting people wanting to do change?
Yeah, because like people can have a desire. Like they might say, yeah, I really want to create my best life, or I really want to get out of the hole I'm in. Yeah, okay, but how much is your desire to do that? Like, they could be just sitting there unhappy and just thinking, I'd like to do it, but then we get to the place where they really desire to do it. They really, really, really want to do it. But how committed are you?
Yeah.
So you go from like it's a nice idea to it's a great idea to yes, I'm ready to actually take action, step out of the hole, and go forward in life.
Yeah. And you mentioned you done some training in change management. Was it? Is it some sort of qualification course? Is it, or what sort of training is involved in it?
Yeah, I did a diploma in clinical hypnotherapy. I did my practitioner and master practitioner training in neuro-linguistic programming, and then also spent a couple of years working in a coaching company. That was the focus, was business coaching, because of my financial services background, as well as the hypnotherapy and NLP training. And then from there, I went on and worked in a lot of behavioral change through hypnotherapy, and then developed the life mindset coaching to help people really get their head into a different space, to change their mind, their beliefs about themselves, so that they can change the life they're living.
That's amazing, inspirational work. I can hear your passion, even just talking about it. I can see you sort of light up on the screen, and I think like I'm a big advocate for suicide prevention as well, and I too had suicide even attempts, 3 attempts before my 18th birthday, in fact. But the main thing I promote, and it sounds like you're a great component of that, is today, tomorrow will be better. Just get through today, and with time things will get better if you let it. Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Because you've got to get out of your own story.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, I painted myself into a corner and then tried to, go out the back door, if you like. And I think when you see people isolating themselves, you've got to get a bit worried, because I isolated, and it's not good to be left by yourself when you're in that sort of space.
Yeah, and I think making that decision to use your experience to try and help others out, especially after such a long career, 28 years, I think you said in your finance planning. And very similar, I suppose, to my story too. I was 20 years in project design before I started my mental health journey, so it's a similar sort of pattern. But the difficulties that I faced is probably similar to you. Is trying to commercialize and trying to create incomes from being an expert in your field and on high income to starting again, basically.
Oh yeah, it was a change. I've done a number of things. I sometimes have had to work to support me in doing that, but the passion's there, and the drive. Whoops, you disappeared?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You're still there. Sorry, my phone rang and it just did something to the screen, but I'll come back. Here we go. Yeah. So sometimes I've had to work to commercialize, to keep going, because the passion's there about the change. And I've done a lot of things like to diversify. I would take the skills onto stage and do comedy hypnosis shows, because that demonstrates to people. It's a good marketing tool, because it demonstrates to people the power of the unconscious mind to create change.
And are you still doing them shows now? Is that something that someone can go and see?
You're in Queensland at the moment. I've just come down the New South Wales mid-north coast and did a couple of shows last weekend. I've got one in Kingsgrove in the south side of Sydney this weekend. Then I'll be back up. I'm not doing too many shows since COVID. Crowds, you've got to get the right crowd at the right place. Not because, like, with cost of living, and also you're competing against drinking, gambling, smoking. It's interesting.
So it sounds like you do a bit of travel, do you, with your work? Is it?
Yeah. In May, I did 5,000 kilometres in the month of May, and 5 shows. Like in one, I did Ballina, Kyogle, and then in one day I drove out to Bourke, so that was 1,000 kilometres. I think I did it in about 12 or 13 hours, a few stops across the way.
That sounds very, very hectic lifestyle, is it? Or how are you managing? How are you managing that?
That's why I've backed off the shows a bit, because I went Bourke to Lightning Ridge. Did Bourke on the Friday night, and then the next morning got up and drove to Lightning Ridge, which was only about 3.5 hours, so it wasn't too bad. And then did shows and workshops there, and then travelled down into the Hunter Valley in Sydney. So it's a bit of wear and tear on the body and the car, let me tell you.
Yeah. And fuel at $2.50, I suppose you don't want to be going too far.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there's all those things, and so because COVID trained everyone to accept more of what we're doing, the Zoom meetings, I do a lot of my coaching and therapy work over Zoom. And people ask, well, can you still hypnotize people over Zoom? Absolutely. You can, because we get that focused attention You look at people, they walk around with these things
Yeah.
and they're hypnotized into watching whatever's going on social media or the news or whatever. So yeah, it's a very good hypnotic device, actually.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of that too, mind you. As much as I say them young fellas with their phones, I'm one of them guys now that sits there texting away on the social medias.
Well, it is called. That's why it's called digital heroin.
Yeah,
No one wants to let go of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah. So thanks for giving us a bit of the insight. Did you have you got time maybe to go through maybe if I wanted to sort of seek some change from you, what the process would look like, or how would that go? You talk about Zoom meetings. You
Okay,
can
let
do
me
that. Yeah.
let me go through the process, because the first thing I do is I want to talk to people to find out, and there's no use going on a journey unless you know where it is that you want to go to. So the first thing that's important for me is just to have a chat on the phone and see uh, what it is you want to do, what your level of desire and commitment is, what is your view of the world at the moment. Because I want to get inside, I want to start to get some insights into your head. And then I want to also have a look at what is your ability to use your focus and imagination. And since you're here and you're curious, Trev, let's have a little experiment with
Okay.
you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It'll take maybe a minute. It's
Yep.
not deep hypnosis. It's just a sense of relaxation to show you what you can do with your unconscious mind. You ready?
Okay.
Just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you breathe out slowly through your mouth, the first thing to do is just give yourself permission to relax. That's it. That's it. And when you're ready, just take another deep breath in through your nose. And this time, as you breathe out slowly through your mouth, use your imagination to imagine waves of relaxation flow through your body from the top of your head all the way down through your neck and shoulders, waves of relaxation washing down through the muscles of your arms. And these waves of relaxation washing down your back, vertebrae by vertebrae, pooling at the base of your spine, washing over your hips. And yeah, just imagine you can feel waves of relaxation wash down your legs, through your feet to the tips of your toes. And with this sense of growing relaxation within you, do an internal scan, look for the most relaxed part of your body. Maybe it's your left foot or your right foot, maybe your left hand or your right hand or somewhere else. When you find it, tell me, where is the most relaxed part of your body, Trevor?
I'd say my lower stomach.
Your lower stomach. Use
Yeah.
your imagination, tap into the relaxation in your lower stomach, and just allow yourself to imagine you can bring this relaxation from your lower stomach up into all the little muscles and micro muscles in and around your eyes. So that all these little muscles and micro muscles in and around your eyes just go loose, limp, and relaxed, and just go on a holiday. And then just keep bringing this relaxation up into your eyes, this time into your eyelids, and just fill your eyelids as though you're filling with beautiful pools of relaxation. Imagining that your eyelids become so heavy with relaxation, that they're too heavy to open. They just want to stay closed. And just focus on this relaxation in your eyes until you get to the depth of relaxation in your eyes where you know they're just too heavy to open, too relaxed to do anything at all. When you get to this depth of relaxation in your eyes, you can test them and you'll find, well, the focus is on the relaxation in your eyes. They'll be too heavy to open. They'll just stay closed. So when you get there, tell me what's happening for you, Trevor.
They are like being closed.
Yeah.
I feel quite empty, I suppose, in my head at the moment.
Okay, and then when I click my fingers, I can bring your awareness back to the external, and you can just come back, open your eyes, bring your attention back to the outside world, and then just open your eyes and come back and continue to chat. Because I can't leave you like this, Trevor.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's really good. Yeah. No, that's good.
So just going to the edge there.
Yeah.
Before we go in, because relaxation, breathing is the gateway to relaxation, which is the gateway to going into hypnosis. So I do that sort of thing. I test people out, and like now that you've done that, I would probably guess that you're a little bit more convinced that it's actually real.
I think the main thing for me is like I'm a big component of breathing too. I do a lot of extreme athletic work, and breathing's a big part of that. And I've no doubt the power of the breath. But I suppose understanding that you can get that sort of connection via this sort of Zoom network, to me is surprising. Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah. Well, thanks for showing the viewers that, and obviously if they want to find out more about what you do, they can reach out. You're quite available for people to reach out on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get me on LinkedIn or just email hello@waynedonnelly.com.
Yep. Okay. And have you got any final words for us now before you go?
Yeah, change is your responsibility. If you don't like where you are, there's only one person is responsible for going on that journey to start the change process.
Yeah.
The man in the mirror.
Yeah, look in the mirror, change it. That's great. That's good. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us today, Wayne. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me, Trevor.
No worries. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye.